So today I'm gonna do a design based on the Powerpuff Girls, and I'm gonna do the design for the middle Powerpuff Girl. I think her name is Blossom, but I'm not too sure. But my favorite one is Bubbles, and I'm using these apple barrels because they're cheap. And I'm using brown, white, yellow, black, and red. The red is for the bow and the eyes, because you notice that Blossom's eyes are pink with a pink dress, and she has a red bow. And her eyes are white, and her dress has a black stripe, and all around her is a black line and stuff. Her skin is a light shade of brown, so that's why I pulled out the brown. I'm doing this in layers. First thing I'm going to do is mix the color for her body, which is a very light shade of brown. Okay, that works for me. I don't want her to be too light skinned. She can have a tan. Blossom's gonna have a tan. Okay, now of course you can see that she's a lollipop. Basically, she's a circle with a stem for her body. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a circle with a stem for her body. And so basically you just have her body. Okay, so the next step now, once it's dried, is to take the back of a brush or something, you know, the rounded end of the brush, and dip it into white, because now I'm gonna make her eyes, and they have to be big, and I just want to place them, you know, I want to give myself a guide first. So I put 2 dots on just to give myself a guide, and then I can spread it around with a small dot into. Okay, and now I'm going to add her iris color. I'm gonna take the back of my brush again and dip it into the pink that I just mixed. So I mix some red and white together, and now I'm going to add her irises, and they're huge too. So I'm gonna put them right on the white, the back of my brush. So that's that color in there. I'll take my dotting tool and finish the edges. Ta-da! Now I'm gonna put in her dress. Since her dress is the same color as her irises, I'm gonna add her pupils, those big old pupils. I'm just gonna put it in there with a dotting tool. I'm gonna add her dress stripes. And then I'm gonna add her shoes. I noticed that she has some white socks on, so I'm gonna paint on some white socks. I'm gonna paint on her white socks with my brush. And then I'm gonna come back and put on her shoes. Okay, so now I'm gonna add her shoes. Okay, so now I have her shoes. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the shiny white spots on her pupils. Okay, so now I have the pupils and the whole body going on in her shoes and everything in her socks. Now I'm going to go ahead and do her hair. Well, to do her hair, I am going to take some brown. I'm gonna take some brown and I'm gonna take some yellow and maybe just a tiny bit of red because she's like a strawberry blonde. Sad, isn't it? I'm gonna mix that. Maybe not. The yellow and the brown came out pretty nice since it's already red in the brown. When I add the yellow in, it wasn't too bad. So now I have a kind of a strawberry blonde looking color, and I'm gonna add that into her for her hair. Now I'm gonna add the bangs. Now I'm going to add her bow, and she has a red bow. Now the tricky part comes in. You have to outline her whole body in black and add in her mouth. So I'm going around her entire body with black. Okay, so now when you're done with your Powerpuff Girl and she's already dry and everything, you take some coat and you double coat her. You give her a double coat. So you put it on once, let it dry, and then come back and do it again. And then coat her again. This keeps her locked in and sealed. You won't have to worry about her coming off. And let your fingernail dry and you are Powerpuff-tastic. Ta-da!